make or break these teams, tournaments. I was gonna say lives, but that might be a little bit extreme. So, but it'll make or break their night. How's that? We'll go with that.
Yeah, and as we were talking about it earlier, like it was like at the beginning of this day, it was like up to like 14th, 13th that could have made it if they got a good game in, and now that number is slowly just gaping and dwindling down because now it's more like 11th. 11th has a good game and they're back in the running because 8th is at 59. You got Run It Down at 12th with 41, so they would need a banger game. They would need about 18 or 19 points to catch back up or to tie with dots to take their spots. And that's a bit of a tall order in this late stage of the game, especially with only two. And we got a hot drop going on as Kev manages to put out TTB Kuanda very quickly as we come into this, the first of two Erangels.
We saw it at the beginning of day one, and we see it in day two with a Panzerfaust incoming. And he's just got to be careful that there's nothing behind him. But shotgun Panzerfaust, do you think that's going to be enough? You think that's enough firepower to deal with one little Kev? I think it was
one little Kev.
One little baddie. One little baddie. I never thought I would say those words in my life.
That is fantastic. But now it looks like Batty Law is going to be pushing into the house. No, he opens the door. He's just trying to keep his distance. As a Panzerfaust and a shotgun is a very, very dangerous duo to have to be dealing with. As Kite is trying to see if he can't try to connect something to make something happen against Batty Law to get that knock, to get the revenge for their fallen teammate. As we have another member of Supernova sitting over towards the glass. Static and Penry are taking fights onto John Lowe. John Lowe with the beast in hand.
Be careful, Penry.
Penry jumps out, but he does not get punished for making that jump out of the second story of that building. They're going to go for a push. They know that it's a 2v1 versus John Lowe as two members over here. Static is going to get the knock onto John Lowe.
Wait, what?
Now just Kite. The Panzer, once again, that's the second Panzer we've seen today where it just does not connect and do anything. Penry putting some very nice shots onto TTB as Kite goes down about half HP. O-Vibes sitting at about 76 of 3/4 of his. Static getting the nice knock on the Kite, leaving just O-Vibes.
Nice
the
shots
Ace coming into play. Beautiful shots on the O-Vibes. He has 1 HP, but O-Vibes with the quick re-peek, and the Jiggle Peek manages to get the headshot on the Static and sit him down, leaving just him to defend from the last members of Supernova as the fight seems to just kind of stall out ever so slightly.
Oh, Penry, it might have been a misplaced. Static is going to go ahead and gonna bleed out. Batty is feeding over the information, but Penry is just not going to go for anything, whether it be the res or the shot just yet, waiting for his boy Kev. But the res is going to come out for TTB, and both of them are basically on 1 HP. Oh, come on, just land one more shot. Penry, though, decides to push now in the shotgun play. I feel like this might actually be...
No way.
I'm gonna gloss over that one and let Penry... I'll cut Penry some slack. So let's not talk about it, and let's... all right, we got 26 minutes left and 15 teams. I don't know what happened to that 16th team. Yeah, we'll stick with that one.
I'm awestruck that TTB was able to turn that back around. That was insane.
Yep.
Static does manage to get the kill onto John Lowe.
Wait. No way Yaho just crashes in on this. Okay,
that would be fantastic. No, they're just driving on by. And smart on TTB for not taking any shots.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Yaho would just turn back around and be like, haha, really? All right. Well, we're going to deal with you now.
Even if they got a knock, they would know what's up.
Yeah. I will say, I am upset. I was expecting a hot drop from Skyline here, and there was no hot drop from Skyline. Instead, we got TTB and Supernova. That's false advertisement, and I am disappointed.
False advertisement, that's...
Yeah, because he came in here saying, who should we hot drop next?
Hey, man, they're still playing for the $20 each. But, all right, Poonage did turn around, and they lost Shinboy and Balefrost, but that's... Ooh, this is going to be the most toxic. But that's how you crash. You go in all together, and you just fight the last two remaining members. So well done from Yaho. They only lose 2 knocks, which, I mean, that's fine, especially with how things go. So, But 14 teams now. The hot drop did not work for either one of them. And Greg Schott and the rest of the Gooners coming into Panzerfaust with Icy Flex. You know, maybe they go straight to Yaho, and I assume that it's a melee circle based off of all this, because I don't think we've seen circle literally because we've been just watching fights.
Correct. We have not seen circle quite yet. We have not been shown circle. In the middle of all of this, as we're watching the Gooners rotate, Sneak Attack manages to get the flush onto 4 Earth, leaving Collector as a 3-man during all of this. Skyline just gonna hot drop, just gonna pick up straight on top of Wajutu onto the factory. I guess this is technically a hot drop because they are landing from the air onto them. Seifu caught in between Nick Knacker getting a nice knock onto Enzito, but Lucid quickly with the trade. And now it's Seifu trying to defend himself from Red Rider and from Zuki Boy as they're trying to push on.
Oh my lord.
But beautiful headshot coming in from Seifu onto Red Rider is going to immediately sit him down and force Zuki Boy to have to back up. Maybe they could slow this down, set down some utility to get the res going. But Zuki Boy trying to play this safe. He sees the door opening. He's waiting to see if they try to push through. You know, Sneak Attack and Seifu are going to double up on this as they go for the wide swing.
Nice
and it's
shots.
going to be Sneak Attack that gets the knock onto Zuki Boy. And they're going to immediately go for the flush. Colt and Nick Knacker are off towards the silos. They aren't able to do anything to try to pick up or get the res onto their fallen teammates. They're just going to have to play. But a beautiful knock, actually, from Colt onto Sneak Attack might be the thing that they need to change the tide of this fight to get across, to start pushing. But it might just be ever so slightly too late.
Well, it is Dots and Wajutu who are fighting for that 8th spot immediately, at least. And so far with Wajutu, they're edging them out, especially with those kills that they've gotten onto Team Skyline so far. But Yaho is finding knocks onto the Gooners. That Panzerfaust not seeming to work out for them. And Colt, it seems like him and Nick Knacker just going to chill for now. But Yaho, they're all in melee. They only lose Light Show, and I think it's just Bunt who is alive. He is running scared for his life with his tail tucked between his legs. The poor guy with 1 HP.
Literally 1 HP. He has to leave this. He has no other option. If he tries to take this fight, it's over. But Gooners getting very quickly dispatched of as now Wajutu just resetting, grabbing all the loot that they can. Collector getting very close to Wajutu as they are taking their ATC tower from them. And it's just going to get even more hectic as this military. This is going to be that Miramar ending with like 19 teams sitting inside of one city. Oh no, that was Taego on Hosan.
Yep.
Hosan, yeah. So this, like, if the circle just keeps feeding into military, it's going to be a chaotic ending indeed.
Well, Yaho, I feel like Yaho and Gooners are two sides of the same coin, you know? Like, they're both kind of trolls. They just have different ways of going about it. But Sakura Sensen, they are... Ooh. All right, I like it. Adam, it looks like he wants to get on top and try to get the flush out. Trimble is still here, though. I think he's full HP. Is he on top? No, he's not on top of him. He's right there. Hello. How you doing, good sir? Peeks on over, does good damage, and Adam is just built different. Mafo going to go ahead and get the res off on to Adit, or at least try to, with the nades coming in. And actually, this one might be absolutely perfect. He's actually going to get a re-knock. Does a tiny bit of damage to Mafo, and he's going to go ahead and start peeking the window. Just gets the flush. And TTG, they are just down to one player, or where's... No, Cater's on the other side. Okay. Cater's going
Cater
for
managed
that
to get up
res.
there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. Oh, I thought he wasn't able to pull for a second. I was like, that's terrifying.
That would have been a very tilting moment for Adam.
But Tiltown's not in this lobby. What are we talking about? I'm sorry. That might be toxic.
Ooh, that was a stretch. That one was also a stretch when it comes to punny pun jokes.
That's fair.
But I mean, I think that was a good play by Adam. He was like, okay, I got one, I got a re-knock, I got a flush. The other teammate came to reinforce, so it's just time. Let's just get out of here.
Psycho went down. Psycho has the VSS. All right, now he gets to see the zone as Razab and Run It Down are pretty close to each other. But Wajutu, what is that circle? That's actually good, bro. That's going north. That's going main island. It's not going Millie. This is the craziest circle I've ever seen for this. I'm so sorry, Colton. I know Wajutu is getting insane. Oh my gosh, but the points are crazy. But this circle is literally the craziest circle I think I've ever seen. What a hardship. The 4 dogs is laughing their butts off. but the rest of the teams on Millie Island have to find some way back over. Dots, they might just take the ferry back over, but what is this going to be?
That is absolutely insane. We didn't even get to see the zone up until this point, so it's like not like we could have told you. Like, but even if we did see the zone, we're like, oh, it's gonna circle up onto Millie. No, and like as the zone popped up, I literally thought like, wouldn't it be funny if it just hard feeds to 4 dogs here and just leaving all the 11 of the last 13 teams just going, what?
Oh my
Because
lord.
we saw who was it? It was Run It Down was still rotating.
Run It
into the
Down and
blue as well
Razav,
as-
yeah.
and Razav we're still rotating in through the blue from the Georgia pool side. So they're like, oh, that's neat for us. That's really good for us. Actually, we could just full send and get really good position inside the zone because all these other teams have already rotated on out of here onto the main Millie Island because everyone's looking at this like, oh, Millie
Dots,
Circle.
this
What
is
a shocker.
such. You can see the boat that they came in on. They're like, hold up, let's just get out of here. What the heck was that? But it looks like they're going to try to go to Melta. Did they leave any of their cars? Or did any team, or did they just all crash them into the water? Penta finding a knock on Amafo, and TTG, they're just sprinting across as fast as their feet can take them. Gator, he seems to be the only one who's going to make it at least unscathed. The Gooners go down. Balefrost found him. Cater is on a 1H. Oh, wait, no, Trimble, but he is knocked. And Sakura Zenton, they are running it down. They are hunting them. This is brutal to watch. Sakura Zenton, they are just absolute animals destroying the rest of this ecosystem.
And they are the invasive species of this lobby. That's 100% factual, as they are just murdering everything that comes into their touch. And it's absolutely insane that they're just able, like, it's like they see and they kill. It's like you would, like, this is the level of gameplay, like, you are expecting Gooners to be doing this the entire, but no, it's been Sakura Zinsen just running this show the entire qualification. 4 dogs getting themselves into a nice setup position inside, or is that outside of farm? Did they decide to go further north? Because it looked like they were going to crash there.
I
but
think they're just going farm. Maybe
it looks like
farm?
it. And it looks like it. And then Sakura Zinsen just taking as much space as they possibly can. Dots, as funny as it was to watch, just seeing them come in on a boat and they're like, hey, look, another boat. Let's just leave. And then they just leave on the same, like on a different boat, just rotating themselves on out of there. It's going to be interesting to see how all these teams decide to play into this because you have like so many teams that have to rotate back through those bridges. Like who's going to opt to take the bridge camp? We have EPs coming in from Mujutu as they are going to land in on Sharkfin? Shark? Whatever it's called.
You can call it fin. I mean, there's
Yeah.
2 shark fins, honestly, I feel like, right? Because
Yeah,
there's the one
there
that's
is.
like center west of the map, and then this one. Battle X, though, going to find the knock on to Bliss, but should be able to get the res pretty easily and run it down and raise Av. They are absolutely they're so lucky with this one. Collector coming in late. I think they might have lost one early on anyway. They might be picking one up with the revive. But yep, that is the circle that legitimately everyone expected after that crazy shift. Wait, oh, I was wrong. It was Duel that I was looking at, not Collector. Collector very far out. But MTG, I believe that they're on the ferry and they're just heading on over. And
I
this
think
circle,
Collector found an EP.
oh, that's a fair shout.
I think they found an EP, and that's why they're just waiting for their teammates to come so they can deploy it. Or no, they're just waiting to rotate all 4-man together. Okay, that's valid. That's a good shout. Revive
Psycho. Where
Yeah,
does
right.
Psycho go?
Yeah, Revive coming in on Psycho as he's gonna try to have to find a home for himself to live in, try to get a little bit of loot if that's even possible at this stage.
Right.
As like all of these teams, it's so heavily congested by farm. I think we saw like 3 or 4 teams over by farm as they're just sitting there. Sakura Zinsen opting to
Ooh,
not go
Panzer.
dead center, but instead they are just going to take as much space onto this eastern side of the zone, which is a pretty good shout. I like that. It's a good play. Because this zone could once again hard shift away. Like, oh, you think okay, now it's just gonna center up towards farm. No, now it's just gonna hard shift on over somewhere else.
I
But
see a bird.
Razav has a Birdum, and they're looking to get aggressive on to Run It Down, but Run It Down not scared to open up onto this Birdum. They're just taking shots, try to reduce the health as much as possible. But that BDRM could do massive for Team Razav as they're sitting on the cusp of qualifying here at 80 points, or at 60 points in 8th place.
I was gonna say 80 points. I feel like they'd be a little bit higher, but yep. So much carnage is going on TTG. It has been so rough for them the past couple of games. Feels like they've been down to just Trimble and previous 2, and it might be something similar so far. But Yaho, they're going to go ahead and crash into North Farm, which is completely free for them. And they don't have to worry. And Addit and Cater They're the 2 left up for TTG, just praying that Circle continues going their way and that no one crashes them. But with C4s being in the game, don't know if it's going to work out for them. Lobes, though, going to get knocked. His duel go ahead and crash onto Ujutsu. Well, the flush immediately coming out. K-Mines, he's in a little bit of a dip, but he is 100% susceptible to a lot of nades. IQ and Wooly trying to give them as much cover as they possibly can.
And it's just, it's going to be a tall order for TTG to try to see if they can make. They have very good positioning here. Nades, utility coming out onto K-Mind. But I don't think it's going to connect. K-Mind setting himself up onto the left side of that dip, away from the smoke. Smokes are making very good bait, baiting out all that utility. So he's not going to get found out just quite yet. So he's able to just survive and live here for just a little bit longer. And now, after getting the heal, waiting for all the utility to just be full sent right past him, he's now able to get in his vehicle, and he's going to be able to just go and reconvene with his team.
All right, but K-Mind, it is amazing that no dreams. He tried. I love the thought, but it is too. It's a little bit too obvious. Not for this lobby, brother. But Smirzair, thank you very much for the raid. I hope SA Quals was as fun as I heard. I watched a couple of it, and it seemed really crazy. And I'll look at the VOD and see who qualled. But no spoilers, guys. No spoilers. I want to see it myself. But with Jutsu, they are doing it so well. They were on the cusp with 7 kills so far this game. It is absolutely perfect. But a farm ending. This is what we're gonna have for the ending of match 11. We still have one more full game to go, but MTG, they are sending it in to the houses, which are actually free. They just got to be careful from Wujutsu. We're watching them, as well as Pest Control. Newbie goes down, but I think he should get rezzed, especially if a smoke.
They should be able to. Yeah, they should be able to smoke and pick him up and bring him inside and get the res off. And they just stayed 4 up there on the edge of the circle. As Pest Control, I like that they have taken this much. Oh, but you got to be very careful because Eddie just comes through and just starts absolutely dominating with his mini shots, just doing everything he can to try to get them out. His MK12 shots, rather. I like how much space that Pest Control has taken on this southern edge, making it very difficult for any team to try to come over towards them. The shots coming in from Hyman onto that BDRM, rolling on through the middle of the city. Looks like they're going to opt to try to take. He put it in reverse, Terry. Nope, and he's going to opt to keep driving it forward. That BDRM is going to get brought down to very low HP. Shane looking like he's going to get ran over.
What?
Oh my gosh, he got hit by it, but he didn't get knocked. And now he's going to blow up the BDRM, as now it's going to be Sakura Zinzin coming in for the third party. Valiant is going to get the blow up onto Beleda. Shane going to be able to get the res as the flush comes into play. But now Dots needs to be very careful because Sakura Zinzin is coming in and setting up for a nice little third party, as shots coming from Hyman are coming in onto Shane Doe, making it very difficult to try to get the res. Blue zone nades are in effect, trying to secure the flushes as much as they can onto Han Spicy. Maybe get a secondary knock onto Shane. Now Flanker sending some nice shots onto Hyman, putting him down to about half HP, as they're going to try to see if they can do what they can to survive. As Collector coming for a crash onto TTG. Ooh. This is all getting so hectic. It's a 3v2 as they're trying to get in, but they're taking massive damage out from other teams. Third party from 4 Dogs coming in from the inside of farm, taking massive damage and shooting at them as they go in for the crash. Psycho is going to get found out and knocked, though, from a completely different team, hitting him with the 4th party.
No. It is so rough, and both of these teams want a really good game, but Cater with the sawed off is going to be absolutely nasty if they work together. But he's inside. He just peeks around for it, takes him down, immediately goes for the flush at it. He has an AKM. 4 going to get traded. A lot of damage coming in from the side from Yaho. And it looks like the ump, is he going to push? He does, and immediately takes him down. TTG are out in 12th. And this madness is only going to get crazier. Sakura Zensen, they were trying to take down Dots. And Dots, I believe they've lost 2. But they are going to escape with a couple of members, which is what they need at this point. Circle does continue to go farm. That is where we are going to end. Razab goes straight for the shacks, trying to find any amount of safety. Pentalol taking liquid dip. His duel immediately crash onto 4 Dogs, and they should take damage. They do. With a Panther Faust as the Coop goes flying in the air. IQ goes down. It is just 2 up from duel. 4 Dogs with a nice hold so far. K-Mine goes down as well. Wooly now just in the side waiting, trying to find something for his team. but the madness, the lead, it is swapping. Everyone is just shooting at each other, and Wooly is trying to survive. Wujutsu coming in, backfilling them, trying to find a way to egress onto this fight. Maybe they just follow immediately behind and try to take the fight that they could not get, but that's not a good nade. Hazel gonna find a Lil G on the different side. Isaac just waiting for the incoming push from Wooly, but it's not coming in just yet.
And what a beautiful hold from Four Dogs as they were getting crashed by Duel. They were able to do everything they can, but now they just can't clear out Wooly because the shots from Wujutsu coming in from their side, the shots from Yahoo coming in from the other side, making this very difficult. Running down in the middle of all of this is just getting absolutely farmed, as now Wooly is getting spotted out by Punaj on Yahoo. He's stuck in literally a corner, and that's going to be a beautiful nade from Ice, going to eliminate Duel in 11th place, freeing them up for the time being to just live in their compound, get a nice reset going. But now Dots are coming in for a crash. It looks like they're going to see if they can't try to find a place to live on this northern side of the zone.
Oh, no.
They see that all of the knocks are coming into play. They want to try to see if they can't try to secure something. Hot and Spicy, the last member up, he's just going to have to make a full send to the opposite side of the circle, see if he can try to live somewhere, maybe a dip or on a rock, and that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to live on the other side of this hill, using this as cover, and just try to stay alive as long as possible. But Yahoo looking like they don't want to let that happen.
He is barely in, but now MTG, they're getting pushed out. They have one member who's a little bit further, but Eddie and Mr. T, they still have to make it in. It is looking rough for them. Newbie should get knocked here. Joshy only hits him one time, but Wujutsu is on the other side. There's no way that they can get res. Pest Control need to make it in. Newbie with a nice nade, and Zito though with the knock. And now Mr. T and Eddie, they're on the edge of blue, and Wujutsu, they are just taking them down. And MTG are gone.
Very well played by Wujutsu here. They're managed to pick up 11 kills coming into the final 9 teams. One more team from placement, but they are finding themselves on the hard edge. It's going to be very difficult for them to get in. They have a few little dips that they can play into, but with Four Dogs holding them out, with Yahoo able to stare at them and hold them out, even as they are trying to get in, it's going to be a very tall order for them to try to get in to make it into the final 8 of this lobby.
Seifu, wait, it looks like he should be able to get the knock, but again, it continues to go farm. Spicy is inside, but Sakura Zensen, Pest Control, the two big leaders of the lobby, they need to make it in, and this is kind of what we were expecting from Pest Control. They had a rough day 1, but day 2, they have come out and started doing incredibly well, but Wujutsu, ooh, I thought they were going to make a crash. Tastu goes out, Micah picks him up.
And now we have our final 8 teams coming into this. This is where the placement points start. This is where you really got to start being careful, waiting for the third parties to happen, because you have teams that are still sitting outside of the zone. Wujutsu looking like they're going to try to point farm a little bit, get a couple of knocks, maybe a couple KP onto Pest Control as they're sitting outside of the zone. And now it's all about who attacks who first. Where do you decide to go to crash? Do you try to go to crash a team sitting inside of farm? Do you try to crash the warehouse side? And it's a bit of a far drive for Wujutsu, but for Pest Control, that could be a good viable option to take that crash, as now you also have to worry about Hot and Spicy. He's going to see if he can't get a couple of points, because he knows it's going to be very difficult for him to get inside of this zone. Rayzav sitting towards the west, inside of their shacks. They're safe. Sakura Zenzen as a 2-man.
Oh, there's a little bit of a dip. You could go for it. I think the dip is his best cover.
Yeah.
That headshot is really rough, though. Actually, the emergency flares. Stop at the emergency flares. Oh, brother. He's surviving. I don't know how long it's going to work, but now Sakura Sensen, they are sending it in. Adam is going to be taken out of the car, but Yahoo, they take down 1. There's 2 left up. Penta is the last one up, and Yahoo, now they need to push onto Penta. Penta picking up the Panzerfaust, waiting for the inevitable push from Shinboy and Balefrost, but Ray Zav putting in some work, trying to get them down. Balefrost with a DBZ. The Panzerfaust is actually going to find him, and now it is just Bale who is up. He has 10 points, but now Pest Control, they have made their move. Yahoo should go down immediately, but it is not happening just yet. Blissey and Joshy trying to take on Bale Frost with a DBS. Have not seen this gun happening, or I have not seen this gun in late game for so long, but it is working out. I'm surprised that Rayzav's not doing anything, but Bale Frost, a nice stun is going to find him, but that nade is absolute perfection. Pest Control the warehouse for now, but how long will they maintain it?
And that's exactly what I was talking about. I was talking about who makes that first push. Whoever makes that first push is what's going to allow either Wujutsu or Pest Control to make a third-party crash into the warehouse for that fight. Beautifully done. Sakura Zinsen made as much effort as they could to try to get rid of Yahoo, but they were able to just hold on just barely long enough so that way Pest Control could come in and finish the fight off, taking their very strong positioning in the center of the zone. Wujutu doing everything that they can to play out towards the edge, try to get as much space as they can because they know they're not going to make a full set into the compound. Bliss with a beautiful little shot onto sneak attack, and now the zone
It's
shifts,
pure farm.
centering up on top of Pest Control, literally ending on top of farm. Collector sitting on the hard edge, Zav just sitting in their shacks for the past 3 or 4 zones, not getting too active, not getting too aggro during all of this. Wujutu sitting out on the hard edge, but now if Wujutu can scout out that those 2 buildings are wide open and free, no one's sitting inside them. Pest Control is a 2-man. You do a little bit of reading in the match log, you can see that Pest Control is only 2-man. You might be able to just crash and take that, and they might be able to just win the game from there.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we have been going absolutely crazy with the circle, with everything that's been happening, but guys, this is only match 11 of 12. We still have one more full match. This is not the end all be all. It is going to be insanity for the last match, even somehow crazier than this, which doesn't even feel right to say. It just feels wrong. But Zav, that seems like they're going to be the next team pushed out. And honestly, Wujutu can actually go ahead and crash that west side of farm, even though they don't know it. We as casters can see it, and you guys as viewers, because we can see it on the map. Hazel, he is literally just staring at them. This is going to be a big game for Collector. If they can go ahead and pick up more points, Wujutu, big for them as well. The rest, I believe, are already pretty secured top 8. So Collector, they are just hoping that they can stay in for as long as possible, trying to get that top 4, trying to get as many kills as they can. They're going to give them up to blue, and Collector, they want him. Nubsky going to go down to blue, and the points, it seems like they will not go over to anyone. They both go down to blue, and Collector, if they can get more, this will be so massive for them. But Pest Control, they are the ones inside farm proper. It's going to center up on them, and now with Wujutu, they should make their move pretty soon. Hazel! No. Hazel! Oh, brother, I don't know if I agree with that one. He's going to try to push in, and the DBS is there. The UMP, 19 HP, and now he's going to be on the side of his buddy, trying and praying that he can survive, but Blissey knows exactly where he is. That is a beautiful frag, and I have no idea how it didn't get him, but now 4Dogs going to go ahead and make their move off of this, trying to make it in as well. All of the teams are circling up on to just this one small compound. We had a city ending in Tego, and we are having maybe not a pure city ending, but it is something akin to it at this point.
Absolutely insane. Wujutu finally taking the time to scout and realize that those 2 buildings are wide open onto the west side of
Nice knock.
farm. Hazel getting a beautiful knock onto Bliss. It's a 2v2 over there between Collector and Pest Control. Now Seifu, he's getting aggressive. He's sitting and he's getting very close to Lucid Freak and Bliss. He knows that they're in there. He knows that they're rezzing on or in or near around that shack. They might be able to pick up another 2 kills, making them the only 4-man team inside of this circle. Would be absolutely massive for them. Pest Control, Joshy, they're still playing very safe as 4Earth is anchoring his teammate, and they know that Hazel's sitting just outside of the warehouse. So only time will tell who's going to make the first egregious move that leads to the destruction of one of the other teams. Because you know, once one of these teams starts fighting, a third party is going to ensue, and W keys will be activated as they try to make something happen. Nice headshot onto Ice from 4Earth, but he does manage to trade a little bit of damage back, headshotting 4Earth as well. Seifu looks like he's getting active. He goes for the shock. He manages to get the knock onto Bliss. The flashbang coming into play. Lucid Freak, he has a nade in hand. He's going to see if he can try to make something happen as the fight around the US and the half wall comes into play. Lucid Freak coming in, but the nade that he pre-naded absolutely does what it needs to. He's not able to get the res onto Bliss, but he is able to secure himself at least one more KP, making it still an even match between them and Wujutu with 3 men up.
Well, Collector, they lose 4Earth. Lucid now trying to go ahead and crash with his teammate. Hazel is the only one who can save Collector's game at this point. He's just trying to survive. Please don't get run over by the car. That's all I ask. And it seems like he should be safe. Wujutu, though, even though they lost one, Hazel now making his move, but the Groza is too strong. Collector go down and forth, and Wujutu have a stranglehold on this match, but still anything can happen. 2, 2, and 3 is the amount of players that we have on each team. Sneak attack on top of the roof. That is I like the height advantage. But yes, sir, there is still one more match after this, and it could not be closer. You guys will be able to see the leaderboard after the match, but we still have to make it through this. Phase 8 is starting, or Phase 9 is starting now. All the players are going to be pushed into the middle of farm. Lucid going to go ahead and throw down some emergency cover, and we're just going to be waiting for Sneak. Sneak honestly has an amazing position here. Him being able to peek down on everyone, he's just going to wait. Even if he dies in blue, this is going to be his chance to make something happen. And he actually does have some cover.
He does. He has a little bit of cover. He has that little bit of lip that he can play off of, and it's really going to come down to who makes the first push. Obviously, we know Four Dogs is sitting further away from the dot. With Jutu controlling the majority of the dot pest control, they're going to have to work a knock first before they can try to make something happen. The beautiful shots onto Enzito bring him down about half HP. The Groza in the hands of a man with absolutely godlike aim. He's just been an absolute menace to this lobby, just absolutely stacking bodies on top of bodies for every single game that he gets into. And it's going to be, time will tell. Four Dogs, they have to make the first move. They're going to be stuck outside of this zone as it closes in on top of them. Pest control, they're probably going to have to wrap out to the right side of farm and see if they can't make something happen. Otherwise, they're just going to be stuck to dying to blue. It might be a game of who denies to blue just so that way the other team doesn't get points, because all of these teams are really stacked up on top of one. Well, maybe not so much Pest control. Pest control sitting in second place, but Four Dogs and Wujutu are sitting really close to one another on the leaderboard for qualing into the group stage of this tournament.
I will say that Wujutu has picked up a ton of points, especially with 13 and at least third. I think that pretty much secures them placement point into the final. But Ice, Tech, and Vorpal, they get on top of the roof. Sneak attack doing some damage, but not finding a knock just yet. He will find the last shot. He has 40 HP, no lethal. They should be coming out at... Oh, that's a beautiful molly. It doesn't connect with him, though. Vorpal goes down to blue. And Ice Tech, he is taking so much damage. The molly is doing work. And Zito goes down to the Groza with somehow of an angle. And Lucid, how does he spot him through that? Joshy now stuck in a 1v2. A great nade. And wait, Sneak is going to go down to blue. It is Pest Control. And that is their third win of the night.